I got into wine through hospitality, so pouring beers and wine for people for a long time. For me, the fun and the reason I got into wine the most was the discovery, like every part of the world you try a different wine, there's something going on, a different flavour. I think people in New Zealand now are looking for more stories, not just with wine, but just where their food comes from. I think we've got a lot of great stories to tell, and people are more actively looking for them now than they ever have. Central Otago is a lot more like Burgundy than probably a lot of the other parts of the country. We're small growers and smaller volumes and a lot of different stories. Everyone sort of says Pinot is incredibly tricky to make. I think it's more that it just probably needs a bit more eyes on it the whole time. And you bring your experience to the fore a little bit more, and you have to alter from one season to the next probably a little bit more than some other varieties which are a little bit more hardy. Pinot Noir is a lot more transparent as a wine because it doesn't have the body of a Shiraz or a Cabernet, so if it's got any sort of greener tasting element to it, it'll stand out a little bit more. So you've got to be very eyes on the whole process, starting with summer and the growing of the grapes right through to getting it into bottle. The people that are here, because of the lifestyle of Central Otago, the winemakers that have sort of found their home here tend to stay here. So we'll all become very good friends and share a lot of knowledge, and that's really helped push Central Otago to the fore too for winemaking in New Zealand with regards to Pinot. This is where my own wines are, so we have a whole range of different Pinot Noir in here and some Chardonnay from most of the sub-regions of Central Otago. It'll age in here for the next 5 months, and then we'll start putting it together and get it off the bottle, and into the next vintage. Central has big mountains, really warm days over summer and cool nights, so the air drops off the mountains in the evening when it cools down, and that helps retain the acidity and freshness in our grapes. Pinot Noir doesn't have tannin like Shiraz or Cabernet, so for it to age it needs acidity, so you want it to hold on to a bit of acidity. Being the further south, we have long days, so a shorter season but really long days, and just has a really good vibrancy and expressiveness here. We're at least moderated by the ocean, so our weather patterns are very consistent normally, so we've been able to have good vintages after good vintages. We're like German Pinot Noir. German Pinot Noir has a lot of schist as well. Down here we're in Lowburn, so we're more on riverstone, a little bit of sand and wind-blown loess. Bannockburn out the back has more clay, like heavy clay, so they're a deeper, darker wine than us, like a little bit more plum flavoured, whereas Lowburn's more strawberry, cherry, spicy sort of character. So each sub-region of Central will express that in one way or another, just based on its soil. Like Bendigo's another one, like there's a lot of quartz there. So they have a really lovely minerality to their wines, but their wines are quite tight young. They're a little bit more bound up, but as they age, they sort of unfurl and come into their own. Gippsland Valley, higher site, a bit more Christmas cakey. It's sort of got some really lovely savoury, spicy sort of elements, a little bit more dried sort of thyme, plum sort of characters. Yeah, they're all a little bit different, and I think they actually will be ongoing, I think, a bigger part of Central Otago. So if you go to Burgundy, each village in Burgundy will be known for a certain style of Pinot Noir. We've had a whole range of things come in over time. So we won the New Zealand International Wine Show in 2018 with a wine that I made for myself, and that was Wine of Show and Champion New Zealand Pinot. I got Winemaker of the Year at New Zealand International Wine Show in 21, an award they give out because you've been consistent across a lot of different wines. So that's sort of, what I'm most proud of probably, because that's what I try and be. Like I try and make sure all these wines are going to be well received by people, and for that reason that'd be my proudest moment, I think. Nevis Bluff has been around for a long time. The company was established in '98, so that's one of the older wine companies from Central Otago. I've been involved since the 2024 vintage. We were fortunate enough to get some great results for our 24 Pinot Noirs, so we entered 2 of those in the New Zealand International Wine Show. Both wines got gold, but they were also allocated a double gold, which means that every judge that tasted the wine gave it a gold medal rating. So it was the first wines I've made for Nevis Bluff, so I was thrilled with those results. It's normally a process over a few years. We'll sort of start off with a bit of a shotgun approach in a vineyard, and we'll look at different blocks, and I'll taste them, obviously, taste the grapes in the vineyard and sort of see what I think's good for one wine over another. And then we get it in the winery here and we treat it how I think it needs to be treated to get the best out of their site. Then we match it with the best barrels that we can, that I think will match with that site. Every barrel's got a different flavour profile. So certain barrels will go with certain types of grapes, like certain flavours of grapes work better with others. Then we get it through to bottle, let it settle down for 6 months, have a look at it as a team of people. How did we go for vintage? Is that sort of the style that we're aiming for? How can it be improved upon? Then we go back into the vineyard and start all again and try and refine it. So we're constantly refining. We'll try something else, we'll try new yeast, we'll do a whole lot of different things, but it's always a progression. Biggest thrill for me is when we go to a restaurant like the Bannockburn Hotel and we'll see a glass of wine on someone's table out of a bottle that we've produced, and that's what it's about. It's about adding to their friends and family's enjoyment and becoming part of an occasion, and that's what I love about wine the most. I really want to build on the story that we can tell out of this winery by making the best wine we can, but support the regional story as well through that, but also through what we offer in our cellar door. I like to get involved with people, that's what it's about for me. So I want to build on that for us as much as I can. That's sort of our future.